Dawson's Rambles.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Ryder here with a Power Rangers Beast Morphers Season 2 discussion video. Now that we are at the halfway point before the hiatus, or after the hiatus rather, we're not having a little bit of a void of Beast Morphers talk until the possible inevitable international reviews start. But so I wanted to have a few videos over the next couple weeks talking about super seasons, because this basically was the super season. And so as you can tell by the title of the video is, does Season 2 have the super season curse? Which is sort of this curse that's happened for, I would say, most of the super seasons. The second seasons, ever since we started the Neo Saban era, we've gotten 2 seasons. And usually, I would say, with the main exception being Samurai for me personally, most of the super seasons have been weaker in some aspect. I think most notably, Dino Charges and Ninja Steals, where I think the main points that happen in the second season that feel like a downgrade is it feels like any importance the plot had is shuffled to the background, and most of the show feels like it's about filler and morals. And it feels like all their momentum is gone. It almost feels as if they always forget they have to do a second season, and they have to throw together an idea. Because I feel like, honestly, Beast Morphers was proof. If we had just included a couple more substantial episodes, taken out like 3 or 4 of the fillers, put Beast X King in there, put Powered Custom in there, you only needed 1 season of 22 episodes. That's all we really needed. And so now it just feels kind of like we're in limbo. And it's unfortunate because a lot of people I know were worried about this season following that same pattern. And I was too, but I was a little bit more optimistic because I felt Beast Morphers was showing some signs of improvement from some of the missteps of the last few years. Like I've said in previous videos, it wasn't leaps and bounds, wasn't a night and day difference, but I felt there was incremental improvements, and so I was a little more hopeful that this would continue the same quality. And I don't think it's quite as big of a dip in some respects as something like Super Steel, but I definitely feel a difference. Like, I'm curious, do you guys feel that too? Sometimes I feel maybe it's just because there was a hiatus, and then, you know, the excitement of a new season wears off, and then you're kind of left with what's there, and I was like, maybe it's just always been this way, but there feels like a difference to me, and I want to know if you guys feel the same about it. Like, I feel there is some plot differences with Mayor Daniels, but for most of the season and stuff, only we know the Mayor Daniels thing's different. To them, it's just like, the dead speak, somehow Evox has returned. And then they just kind of return to the status quo, and most of the season has felt like the focus has been on filler plots and the morals. And I think the morals have felt more forced this half. I'm not saying all of them were perfect in Season 1, but I feel they've been more forced, more awkward, more outdated. I mean, they've always been outdated, but it just doesn't feel right. It feels like a downgrade. I feel like Blaze and Roxy in this first half of the season haven't been used well. The idea that they were separated in the Season 1 finale I thought was cool because I wasn't expecting it. I thought it would happen at the end of the series. But now they don't take advantage of it at all. Blaze and Roxy in their good forms have barely appeared. There's tons of potential for their characters and it hasn't been used at all. Even their evil counterparts feel like they haven't been around very often. And something I liked about the first season is I felt the villains had good presence. I felt like Blaze and Roxy and the villains actually had their own story going on, especially in the second half with the competition of who gets this power up, and then it became them versus Vargoyle. And now they feel so far in the background as villains, and especially as good guys. And Ben and Betty too, never been perfect, but I felt they showed signs of improvement from the comedic side in the first season where they felt more integrated with the show and the cast, and had moments of endearment. And this season, it feels like we've reverted back to Victor and Monty, where they almost feel like a separate entity from the show. They feel like at the end of some comics, you'll have a separate storyline, like a little mini story that goes with each comic. Sometimes it's comedic. Like, I think Go-Go had like the Avengers of Bulk and Skull. That's what it feels like. They feel separated from the show, just existing as a bit, almost even as a commercial. Like, oh, here's a commercial break, here's a bit with Ben and Betty. And they weren't, again, vastly improved from Victor and Monty, but I think they showed sign of improvement in Season 1. And I think that's what a lot of this is that Beast Morphers Season 1 showed incremental signs of improvement and fixes from things that were happening in the Neo Saban era. And it feels like we're dialing it back. Maybe not all the way, but we are dialing it back a little bit. And when I reflect on this half season, honestly, the only episodes I really enjoyed were the episode of the Beast X King and Powered Custom, the Beast X mode, and because those felt more like Season 1 with the way they built up and the way they were plotted, but everything else, it felt like a very average filler. I mean, I liked the premiere okay, but but upon reflecting on it and rewatching it, they just weren't that great. And it feels like we took the most mediocre Beast Morphers episodes and made this half season out of it. And I'm not prepared to say it's as bad as the previous Super seasons, but I am a little bit disappointed. When it came back, I was very much looking forward to Beast Morphers every week last year. And now it's not quite at Super Steel where I'm like, ugh, Saturday's coming up, I don't want to watch it. But I'm not that excited anymore. It feels like last year I'd be like, oh man, I can't wait to Saturday, new episode of Power Rangers because I'm actually enjoying it. Now it's like, oh, Saturday, gotta do a video, I guess. And so it's felt weird. The mood has felt different. It's felt a little bit like reverting to form and downgrading on some of the improvements they made. But we'll see. This is going to be essentially part one, doing a check-in at the half season. And when the season wraps up, I will do a sequel to this video talking about this. I mean, I'll obviously be doing a series review, but sort of talking about how this stacked up compared to previous Super seasons. One positive I would say about this is that it's like a positive negative, because it's a positive off of a bad thing. But I feel like there was a section of the fandom that felt this season was going to be better solely on the fact that Super wasn't in the name. Even though it is a Super season, the Super name was just, for lack of a better word, superficial. Like, honestly, it's the same exact premise, the same exact idea. The name Super was just there because Bandai and Saban felt that they needed to create that to generate excitement for the second year of toys. And I didn't mind that core idea. It's just like, use a different name besides Super. It's like, people are gonna catch on, and I can't believe that they used Super for all 4 of their series. And so, but this is basically Super Beast Morphers. That's just, like I said, it's just a superficial detail. So like, that's a positive in a way, because I feel like it's shown people that, yeah, like, it didn't matter. The Super being there didn't somehow make the season worse. It was just part of the title. So that kind of made me happy, but I am kind of sad that Beast Morphers felt like a downgrade. But what do you guys think? Have you had similar feelings to me where this second season feels like a downgrade like previous Super seasons? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you can go to notifications for my videos. Dawson Rider, signing out.